2021, so we must still be doing our September daily. So today we are on page 26. Yes, 26. And Miss P, because of Edith Holden's 150th birthday, had she still been around, she picked Edith Holden, and so there's no designer for that day. There's just Edith Holden and then Edith Holden's book, Diary of an Edwardian Lady. And it's a garden book, if you don't know. She had drawn all these different flowers and animals and stuff, and it's a beautiful book. However, and I do have a copy, but I'm not cutting mine apart. So it took me too long to get it and find it and all that good stuff. I mean, you can find it, don't get me wrong, but unless you can find it somewhere like eBay for inexpensive, it's going to cost you, because everybody's buying it, so they know they can charge more. So anyway, so what I decided to do was a barbershop page. I know. So we'll get to that in just a second. So this is Mr. Black. I don't have a Mr. Green. Miss P is doing Mr. Green. The book is written by Green. The original one from January 2021 was also an actual Green book. So anyway, Miss Paintalot, or Miss P, or Fiona, whatever it is I say, they're all the same person. Her YouTube link will be below this video so that you can see her versions of the pages. Mine are not the same, but use the same prompts. And when I have the same designer, I've been using the same designer. When I don't, then obviously I can't. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to buy every kit that I don't have. So like today, I'm using Vintage Barbershop by Vectoria Design. And so that's what we're going to do. So we're on page 26 in Mr. Black, and he's gotten very, very large. And so we're going to get to that in just a second. Or we're not going to get to it. I'm not going to go through it because you guys have seen all the pages up to page 26. Well, yeah, you've seen all the pages up to 26. So today is not a difficult day, and I had to pre-make mine because my measurements are different than what yours are going to be. Yours depends on the size of your book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. We'll construct it together, but I've pre-inked and pre-cut my pages. Okay, and you don't glue them on ahead of time. Wait and glue them on as you go. All right. So I've written on the back of every page what it is, and I should have written on the front of each of these backing papers. This is the right one. Well, actually, they'll only fit the correct page, so I guess it doesn't matter. So you're going to need a stencil or some stamps that go along with your kit. You're going to need some magnets. You're going to need a brush if you're using stencils. You're going to need some measurements. So the left side is cascading pages, like a waterfall, only sideways. And it's constructed a little bit different than a regular waterfall. So what you want to do is you want to take your book measurement, your width, you want to cut it back by about 3 inches. So I'm working with an 11-inch book, so I cut it back to 8, and then the first page is 8 inches wide. The second page is 6 inches wide, and my third page is 4 inches wide. So they go down by 2. Well, 3 the first one, and then 2, 2, and 2. Okay? Then on the right side, which is going to be a big page that covers your waterfall, but not completely, only partially over your smallest page, so it doesn't cover the whole thing like a big giant flap. It's just a big flap. It's not a big giant flap. And we're going to put a magnet on the back of that one to hold everything shut. Okay, so that's the overview of what we're going to do. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, and I'll tell you why. Because I figured out this trick, and everybody may know it by now, and nobody told me, but I was doing trial pages, and so I didn't waste my good paper. I was doing it on typing paper, and it got to where I couldn't move the paper on my paper trimmer because the static electricity was so bad. So all of a sudden I thought of dryer sheets, anti-static dryer sheets. So I took a dryer sheet and wiped it across my page trimmer, and then there was no static anymore, and it smelled nice. So there you go, except they make me sneeze. So I'm allergic to everything. I'm not allergic to them once I use them in the dryer. I'm just allergic to them or have a reaction to them beforehand. So since the measurements are all different, I decided to show you how to construct one page, and then the rest is rinse and repeat in the sizes that you need. Okay? So now to construct your page, you're going to need a backing page, which is going to be 1/8 of an inch bigger than your page. So you're going to cut your page out, and you'll notice this one is the same as the top page here. So you're going to cut it out, and I resized this in Publisher, and you're going to want to cut the height first to whatever height your book is. Don't forget. And you're going to trim this first. Anyway, I resized this in Publisher, and I made a video on how to resize your pages in Publisher and a couple other things in Publisher. So just look in the list of videos, and it will be one with a pink icon, because that's the icon I use for computer tutorials, so they stand out against the book tutorials and folio, book and folio, whatever tutorials. See, this is getting staticky already. It didn't last for very long, did it? I had hidden it under my work surface, but it was still too close to my nose. Oh, poor guy, cut his hat off by just a smidge. Anyway, so now I did this on my scoreboard, whichever way is easiest for you. First, I'm going to mark where I need my page to cut off. So you're going to want to leave a little border. Okay, then you're going to go to this side, and you're going to leave a little border. So that's how wide your page needs to be. Okay, then get out your ruler and add 1/2 inch. Because that's where we're going to score it. So that's where you need to cut it off. Okay, we're going to score it where the page is, the width of the page. We're going to cut it 1/2 inch farther. Okay, so you can take this paper off, and then you can cut this paper, your backing paper. You don't have to measure it or anything. You've already measured it. So just cut it on the second line. Now, depending on which side your page is on, it makes a difference as to which way you fold it. It doesn't matter which way you score it, unless you like to bend it a certain way once you've scored it. You know, like have a certain side up, the indented side or the raised up side. I fold mine either way. So you're going to take your paper here, and you're going to put it on, and you're going to score it at this line That's how wide you need your page, so the rest of it is the 1/2 inch flap. So you're just going to score it. Remember to roll your scoring tool so you don't tear your paper. I actually made a little tear in one of mine. Okay. Then you're going to bend it. Now, this one is the one that goes on the right-hand side. So I'm going to bend it down so that the page faces this way with the flap on the right. I'm going to burnish it. I'm going to take this big thing away. The reason it says scoreboard is because when I first started, for some reason, my mind would go blank, and I couldn't remember what it was called, and I never took the name of it off. I've named it scoreboard. So now you're going to take where you've scored it, and you're going to trim the corners so the corners don't show. The construction on this is just like hers. I'm just using a different kit and different sizes. Okay. Then you're going to ink your paper, but don't put it on here yet. Okay. Now that's our sample. So we'll set it way over there so we don't get confused. We're going to set our magnet to the side. On the side of your right one, not on the back of the backing paper, because then you'll see it, but on the back of this paper, write the word magnet so you don't forget, and draw a little circle. Okay, we're going to put this one on last. We're going to put this one on first. So let's take these two off. Okay. If I remember how she did this, it will work. Now this paper, since it's going to be so thick, and Mr. Black is already so fat, normally I add a backing paper behind. This is just going to be the backing paper, and we're going to actually build on it too. Okay? Normally I build on the paper and then glue it to the backing paper. But this time we're going to build, since each one of these is going to have a backing paper, I decided to just go ahead and build on the backing paper. So you can actually glue this to that, and it's probably easier to do it now. We're not going to be cutting and scoring anymore, except I forgot to score this one. Unbelievable. Well, at least I'll get to use it now for something else since it isn't scored, as long as it's cut to that size. Let me make sure this is still right. It's not. How is that possible? Oh, that's the backing page. It doesn't need to be scored. I've lost my mind. I've scored so many pages that now I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I inked everything in antique or vintage photo because this is kind of a vintagey kit. I really like it. And I was able to keep the entire picture because I shrunk it down in Publisher. If you can put your measurements in your printer software, then just do that. You don't have to open it up into a image editing, or in the case of Publisher, a newsletter creation software. Now this one doesn't need to have a stencil on the back either. It's going to be glued to the book. So we can go ahead and glue this on. And we're gluing. And I just realized I need to roll up my sleeve. At least that one for right now. No, I'll just do both quickly before the glue dries. And remember, there's going to be a border. Doesn't matter right now whether you put it on right side up or upside down. However, you want to make sure it's right side up when you start here in just a minute. Okay, so center it in your border. This one's a bit bigger because this backing page is the size of the page that fits in my book. Okay, now the first page is going to be your smallest page. Remember, we're not going to put this one on yet. Where's my other? You see? This is the one for the right, and this is the picture for the right. And we don't know what happened to the other. The reason I'm not pushing that all the way down is I've discovered that for some reason this batch of paper clips is sharp and it'll scratch my paper. So I'm going to set this to the side. And remember, we're not inking the backing paper. So the first page is going to be our biggest page. I'm sorry. So we're going to glue it to the... No, we're not. So take your paper clip and take your paper off. And then glue your page on. This one we're going to glue around the back of the paper. Make sure everything lines up. Did I say to trim the corners? I may not have. Let me show you. On all your scored pages, trim the corners a little bit so they don't show. Start at the outside corner, that's the top of your page, and go in just a little bit at an angle, and do the same at the bottom. All right, it doesn't matter on this one, but it does matter on the subsequent ones, because you'll see them. You'll see that. Well, you won't see them, but you don't want to see them. Did that make any sense at all? If you do it correctly, you won't see them. And I want it right side up. I'm going to hook that on. I want to make sure it's straight. Could paper clip it so it doesn't move. And I've turned it upside down. I've paper clipped it, but looks like it moved a little bit. It's possible my scoring isn't straight from, you know, it may be off just a little bit. So I'm going to hold it, open this out, and then glue it. Sorry about my voice again. I think you guys are used to it by now. The dryer sheet did it. Well, my voice is like this a lot of times anyway, but you're going to fold it over and glue it. Oh, I know what looks different. The corner on that where I trimmed it is steeper. And go ahead and burnish it down until it's dry. Make sure everything is sealed. And you can see that even though it didn't look like I had a lot of glue on there, I still have a little bit coming out. Excuse me if the mic makes noise. My dry wet wipe was not where it was supposed to be. Okay, I'm just going to wipe the excess off, because I don't want to turn it over and glue it to the glass. Okay. Now before you put your paper on, you're going to glue the next one on. Take the paper off. Okay. There's the big one. There's the next one. And this time, you're going to glue it on top of this one. All right? Instead of curling it around again, then it makes it more difficult to close. You're going to glue this one on top. You're still going to line it all up and everything, but you're going to put your glue on, and instead of putting it on the inside, you're going to put it on the outside. Now, Miss P stamped hers first. I'm not sure. I've got a stencil out. I'm not really sure what I'm going to put on the back of these. So I think I'm just going to leave it now and then take a look at it. These are going to be your writing pages. So if you're going to do something, just do it in the corner. You know, whatever your backing pages are going to be your writing pages. Oops, I had it lined up. Make sure it's straight when you look over here. Now open it up, make sure you don't have glue seeping out, where I've got a little bit right here. Wipe it all off if you have any. Wiping along it also helps it stick. Okay, now you're going to put your paper on here, and that will cover this flap, and that's also why you made the angles, so that when you put your paper on, you don't see the flap. Remember, I inked the paper, but not the backing paper. It's up to you if you want to ink both. Okay? I'm wondering now, though. Forgot to check for glue on this side. And it's still moving. I thought I checked for glue. Fabri-Tac will kind of ball up a little bit, and you can just kind of brush it off. If it doesn't, then you can use your glue eraser and get any last little bit that's still hanging out. I don't know, that just looks like a spot to me of some sort. So this is going to be a writing page or a page for photos or whatever. I'm not rounding the corners on mine because the bottom page can't be rounded and make it look right on my book. You can round yours ahead of time if you like. So now, right now, you've got this page and you've got this page. So you want to paper this one. I think you can see where we're going with this. Now, Miss P, in her book, it's a book that opens like this. Mine's a spiral bound. So I could have made 2 smaller sides, but I just didn't want to do the math. So I decided to do just 1/2 of what she did. You know what I mean? I didn't repeat it double from the other side, like you know, with the binding of the book in the middle. Okay. And you don't need to put any magnets on anything except for that one, the top one on the right. Or if you're doing like she did and you're doing a spread in a book, you would do one in the top right one or the largest right one, and then one in the largest left one. And don't forget, if you're not sure on how to resize in software, if you own or pay monthly whatever for Microsoft Office, then you have Publisher. It's included. So just open that and then follow the directions in the video that I made. You'll be all right. Now, Gentleman Barber is supposed to be right side up. This stamp is supposed to be upside down. So I had to look at that for just a second to make sure I was putting it on there the right way. Okay. Okay, now on this one, we're not going to glue the paper yet. Take this off. I'm not going to glue this paper yet. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to glue this one to the top of this one. Okay. So you're going to glue the creased side, the scored side here, and not inside like when you hook it over the outside. Okay. And remember to have trimmed your corners. And it actually looks like I should have used the bone folder, because it seems like it wants to pop up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that's much better. Okay. And I want to wipe this glue off. Still don't want to glue anything to the glass surface. Haven't changed my mind since the last time I said it. Now on this, you're going to want to check for glue on the outside and on the inside. Okay, I'm going to put you on pause for just 1 second. That just means it was 30 minutes. And I try to not make my videos longer than 30 minutes, and then I just edit them together. And let's use the bone folder along this one. And now you can put the picture on both. Your pictures on both. one's still sticking up. Shouldn't be. We did it on top. Well, it's better. I'm not happy, but it's better. It appears it's creeping. Yeah, it's not dry yet. So we'll leave these for a second. We'll let this dry. I really don't want it to pop open like that, and I have no idea why it is. Break my bone folder. It's better. All right. This one is different. We need to glue our magnet on the back of our paper. So let's lay this on here, hook this on here. And we can either do it on this or we can do it on the back of this. Putting it on this is probably better. I'm not sure that my magnets are going to hold that many papers. So I'm going to put it to where it only has to go through the backing paper and the first paper. I know for sure that will hold. And put it over as far as I can. So that appears to be right here. I hold my finger here. Yeah. X marks the spot. Get out a magnet that I just threw across the room. Fortunately, I have a metal cabinet right behind me, and it just flew off, but it stuck right to the cabinet. So they didn't go very far. I picked up the wrong end. Need to order some more. Trying to get that closed, or as closed as best as it will close. And I will not be able to put a charm on this one. Because remember, you're going to have papers on these, so it's going to make them double thick. I can go ahead, flip this over. No, I better glue that first, huh? Silly me. Make sure everything's lined up. And we're going to glue the back of this one just like when you're making an envelope stack. Okay. Make sure everything is straight. Check for glue on the inside. Okay, I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to put my picture on here. And I labeled them all, which is kind of funny because they're all different sizes and they won't fit anywhere but where they're supposed to go. If you're going to be silly like me and glue on top of your other paper, be careful. Make sure it's right side up. Leave your edge. Make it match this as much as you can. I really like this kit. Here's my little skinny piece. I still don't know why this one's popped up. That's the whole point of not layering them on the outside. They still ended up gluing on top of it. Now, depending on what you're doing, you might want to, once you've put all your papers on, if you haven't stenciled or stamped or whatever your back yet, if you're like me and you're not sure what you want to do, then I wouldn't glue it in your book yet. If your book is rounded, you know what I mean, like really fat at this time, which mine is. So I'm going to show you what it's going to look like in the book, but I'm not going to actually glue it until I decide. But this is a simple construction once you get the math right. Just remember 2, 2, and 2 inches shorter than the next one. And then 3 inches shorter than what your backing paper is. All right. See, I have trouble. Houston, I have a problem. I do need to put the magnet over further. Oh, I hadn't put the magnet on the back yet. Well, it appears it's going to hold. There must be something on my surface here. I keep getting it on my papers. It looks suspiciously like crumbs. But make sure about your magnets before you glue your paper on. Okay. And glue your last paper on, and then you'll be done. I mean, except for any embellishments or anything that you want to do. I've got some for this, but I'm not sure what I'm going to use, or if I'm going to... I have to be careful because of the magnets. Mine aren't very strong, and I don't want to layer things on that are going to add to the thickness. It's already 6 pages thick. There's three pages and then 3 papers, and they're all 65 pound. If you want to use thinner paper for your pictures, you're more than welcome to. I do not use typing paper thickness papers. Make sure your picture's right side up. Put your border around. Doesn't seem to mind having that top little bit of his hat cut off. Kind of made my border a little bit bigger up here. And that's essentially it. Okay. Anything you want to do to the back of the pages, you might want to do before. It's up to you, before you glue them together. I don't think I have any stamps that go with a Barbershop, so I will probably go ahead and stencil. Just remember, if you're going to wait and do that, to put a piece of paper, like when you're doing this one, you'll be fine. But when you're doing this one, you don't want to accidentally get it anywhere. So put a piece of paper, put your inking paper underneath. I wonder what this stencil... I'm looking at all these on here, and I'm thinking that this might match. And I could do them all the same by lining up this and lining this up with the corner. But I'm not sure. Since I'm not gluing it in my book yet, because I haven't decided if I'm going to stencil or stamp or whatever, then I am just going to wait. But that's all you need to do. That's all that's left to do, because these are all writing pages. Okay. And so you open it, and then you see this, then you see that, then you see that, and then you see your back paper. Okay? Easy peasy, as my friend would say. Okay, now let's get out Mr. Black so you can see what he's going to look like on the page when I glue him in. Move some of this out of the way. This is a big book. He's a big boy. Being inside this book will flatten that little page out too. So I've got him tied shut because I'm trying to train the cover to bend. So I've got him tied shut fairly tightly. Trying to figure out where there it is. Decided on this scarf all by myself. No one made a comment telling me which one they liked the best of the three, so I picked the solid color one with the black. Okay, so now when we get to page 26, I really like this one that looks like a diner table or a kitchen table when getting ready to cook with your recipes out. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like on the page when you glue it in. It's going to look nice. Okay, so that's it. That's our page, and that's our video. And I will see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me, literally. Bye.